Hi, from RADE Garage. In this installation video, I will show you how to install our error kit on CFmoto 450 MT. You will get these parts for the error kit: windshield, headlight cover, sticker for the headlight cover, foam sealing, anti-reflection black sticker, bottom cover for the headlight holders, top cover for the headlight holders, bag with bolts and other mounting parts, left and right holders for the headlights, left and right side panels, headlights, TFT dashboard holder, cover for the cables from the TFT dashboard holder, cable for the headlights, cable covers which goes inside the headlight holders, button holders of the windshield, top holders for the windshield and navigation bar, and cable for accessories. In bag with bolts and other mounting parts, you will find this M4 by 16 bolts, M5 by 20, M6 by 16, M6 by 30, M6 by 8, M8 by 35, M6 self-locking nuts, M8 self-locking nuts, M4 plastic washers, M5 plastic washers, M6 washers, M8 washers, M4 rubber nuts, M5 rubber nuts, navigation bar, and silent blocks. For installation of the error kit, we recommend you these tools: Allen key size 6, 5, and 3. You will need 2 Allen key size 4, cross screwdriver, flat screwdriver, socket extension, socket wrench size 10 and 13, joint adapter for the socket wrench, wrench size 13 and 10. In this chapter, I will show you how to remove the original front so you can then install the error kit from us. We start by removing the windshield. To do that, you will need to remove these 4 bolts and you will need Allen key size 5. We will remove the original side panels on left and right side. You will need to remove these 3 bolts. To do that, you will need Allen key size 5. After removing the 3 bolts on the side, there is 1 bolt hidden here. You will need cross screwdriver. There is a second screw hidden. It is here. To remove it, you will need cross screwdriver. When you have removed all the 5 bolts, you take the side panel from the button and you will pull it towards you. Then there is a plug for the turn signals and you will just easily take it out. If you have a version with a higher fender, I recommend you to remove it. To do that, you need to take out these 4 bolts. We will do it by socket wrench size 10 and extension. For removing this plastic part, we need to take out these 2 bolts. For removing them, you will need socket wrench size 13 and extension. We will remove these 2 bolts. On them you will need Allen key size 5, and then you will remove this screw and you will use cross screwdriver. remove these two bolts on the top and under the navigation bar. To remove them, you will need Allen key size 5. We need to move aside this plastic. To do that, I recommend you to use the flat screwdriver. We will slowly place it in these spaces so we can pop the plastic out like this. When you pop up the plastic like this, you have now better access to this bolt, which you will use Allen key size 5 to remove it. And then there is a hidden screw here, and on it you will use cross screwdriver. There is a hidden bolt behind this plastic. To remove it, we need to push away this plastic like this, and then we will use socket wrench size 10, joint adapter and extension, and we will place it like this. When you remove all the bolts on the left side and on the right side, we will now just push the lights out, and we will unplug the connector. We will remove these two bolts. You will need socket wrench size 10 and joint extension. We will unplug the USB port and the TFT dashboard. We will remove these two bolts so we can then take this holder for the navigation bar. You will need socket wrench size 10 and extension. When you have removed these two bolts, you just easily pull out the support for the navigation bar. We'll remove these two screws and we will use cross screwdriver. We need to remove this bolt and this bolt. On this bolt you will need socket wrench size 13 and extension, and on this bolt you will need socket 10 and extension. When you remove this one bolt and this bolt, move them aside because we will use them later. The same you will do with the bolts on the other side. To raise the frame on the right side, which supports the original headlights, we need to remove this bolt and this bolt. This bolt can be hidden behind the T-box, which is mounted here. So you need to release it, and then you have clear access to this bolt. You will need socket wrench size 10 and socket wrench size 13. Now we need to release the tower. To do that, we remove this bolt and this nut. You will need wrench size 13 and socket wrench size 13. After you have removed the lower bolt, we will do the same with the top one. When we can move with the tower like this, when it's fully released, we will remove these two bolts. To remove them, you will need socket wrench size 10. Now we must take this part which holds the TFT dashboard out. The best way for me was that I push the tower down and then just slowly remove it from there, like this. In this chapter, I will show you how to prepare holders for the headlights, windshield, side panels, TFT dashboard holder, and holder for the navigation bar before we can place them on the bike. Take the side panels and rubber nuts. We will place all the rubber nuts to this hole, and this hole. The same will be on the other side. This is how the side panels should look like after you insert the rubber nuts. To install the TFT dashboard on our holder, you need to remove these 3 nuts. To do that, you will need socket wrench, size 10 and extension. When you remove the nuts, you can now easily take out the TFT dashboard. Then we will reuse these washers, so put them aside for now. We will reuse these 3 grommets. To remove them, you need to push out the middle, and then you can easily take out the grommets. Take our holder and the grommets, and we will install all 3 grommets in these 3 holes. When you have installed these 3 grommets, take these tube spacers and insert them into the middle like this. Now we will install the TFT dashboard. We will reuse the original washers, and we will secure the TFT dashboard by the original nuts. And you will need socket wrench size 10. This is how the TFT dashboard with the hour holder should look like. We will prepare the top holders for the windshield and for the navigation bar. You will need left and right holders, navigation bar, M6 by 8 bolts, M6 washers, and rubber nuts. We will install the rubber nuts into this hole. Put the washers on the bolts. Mount the navigation bar on one side. Then on the other side. We will not fully tie it yet, we will do it later on the bike. To assemble the windshield, we will need the headlight cover with the stickers and sealing foam, M4 by 16 bolts, and M4 plastic washers. To prepare the windshield, we will start with this black sticker which goes inside here. After you apply black sticker inside the windshield, take M4 rubber nuts and put them in these 4 holes. After you put these 4 rubber nuts into the windshield, take this sealing foam and install it around it and on the top of the rubber nuts. Now take small flat screwdriver and make holes where the rubber nuts are. Before we install the light covers, we prepare the sticker and we will apply it on the light cover like this. When you have the sticker on the light cover, you take small flat screwdriver, and with the screwdriver you will make a holes for the bolts. To install the headlight cover, you will need M4 by 16 bolts and M4 plastic washers, also Allen key 2.5. We will prepare the button holders of the windshield. You will need the button holders of the windshield and rubber nuts, and we will place the rubber nuts into these bigger holes. We will prepare the holders for the headlights. You will need 2 silent blocks, M5 by 20 bolts, M6 by 16 bolts, M6 by 8 bolts, M6 washers, M6 self-locking nuts, cable for the headlights, left and right holder for the headlights, and bottle cover for the headlight cover. Take the left side holder and bottom cover. We will align the holes like this. The silent block goes to the front, and from here you will use the washer and a nut, and here you will use the M6 by 16 bolt, and from this side you will also use washer and a nut. You will need wrench 10 and Allen key size 4. We'll install the right holder the same way as we did with the left side. So you will align the holes. Here goes the silent block. Here goes the M6 by 16 bolt. Don't fully tight these two, we'll do it later. When you have assembled the holders for the headlights like this, we will install the headlights. The longer headlight, which is low beam, will go down, and the longer one, which is high beam, will go up. You will use M5 bolts, and you will need Allen key size 3. When you have installed the lights, we can now tight these 2 bolts. You will need wrench size 10 and Allen key size 4. Take this connector for the lights and connect them to the headlights. This one with only 3 cables goes to the high beam, and this one with all 4 cables in the plug goes to the lower beam. We will install the button holders for the windshield. You recognize the correct side that way that the holder should be facing forward like this. If the holder will be facing backwards like this one, it's the wrong side. You will need M6 by 8 bolts and M6 washers, and you will use Allen key size 4. This is how the headlights with the headlight holder should look like when you assemble it correctly. In this chapter, I will show you how to install the error kit when you remove the original front from the bike. First, what we do is that we will push this plastic here on these threads. Now we will mount the original holder for the tower. We will use the original bolts and original nuts. Don't fully tight it yet because we need to align this frame with the holes on the side. When we have aligned the frame with this hole and this hole, we will use the original bolts which we move aside. The M8 bolt go here, the M6 bolt goes here. We will use socket wrench size 10, socket wrench size 13 and extension. When we have tied the bolts on the side which holds this frame, we can now tight the bolts which holds the main holder for the headlights. You will need wrench size 13 and socket wrench size 13. We will remove this washer like this, and then we will place it from the other side. The same we will do on the right side. We place the cables like this above this mounting point. Prepare the M6 by 30, M6 washers and M6 nuts. The washers goes from the side of the nut. Take the holders with the headlights and place them like this. Take the M6x30 bolt and it will go to this hole. Take the M6 washer, place it on the bolt like this. Then take the M6 self-locking nut and secure the bolt with it. You don't need to fully tighten it yet, we'll do it later. This you will do also on the right side. Take M8 bolt with washer, place it like this, and you will do the same on the other side. Take M8 washer and nut, secure M8 bolt down there. When you place the washer and the nut on the M8 bolt, you can now fully tighten it. You will need Allen key size 6 and wrench size 13. There we can now tighten these two bolts. You will need Allen key size 4 and wrench size 10. We will connect all the plugs. We will prepare the connector for a THD dashboard like this. Take the cable for accessory and we will connect it to these cables. The black connector goes on the green cable and the purple cable goes on this red-orange cable. Take the top cover, push the cable for the TFT dashboard through this hole, place the cover like this, and then take the silent blocks and install them this way on both sides. Take the M6 self-locking nuts and M6 washers and secure these silent blocks with them. You will need socket wrench size 10. Take the top holder for the windshield and a navigation bar. Place it like this and you will use M6 washers and M6x8 bolts to mount it. Take the Allen key size 4 and fully tighten the bolts. Now we can fully tighten the navigation bar. You will need two Allen key size 4 and you will tighten it against each other. We will mount the TFD dashboard. You will use these short M6 original bolts. And then you will use wrench size 10. Plug the cable for the dashboard like this. Then take this cover for the cable which goes inside. And then you will install this cover for the TFD dashboard cables. Take these side panels and place them like this. Take the M5 by 20 bolts and you will install them here, and for that you will need also Allen key size 3. Here you will use this original screw and you will use cross screwdriver. Last thing what we will do is to install the windshield. To mount it you will need this M5 bolts with plastic washer. And on the bolts you will use Allen key size 3. On the last hole in the windshield you will use the M5 bolt with a plastic washer and rubber nut. In this chapter, I will show you how to install the side panels after you install the RR kit on the bike. We will connect the turn signal and then we will push the side panel like this. We will secure the side panel with the original bolts and you will use Allen key size 5. We will secure the side panel also with this screw which goes here. You will need a screwdriver. We will install back the higher fender if you have it. You will use the original M6 bolt and socket wrench size 10 and extension. We will mount the high fender to these holes. The installation of the RR kit from us is now complete and I hope you will enjoy it on road, also in off-road.